Good afternoon. Welcome to C&T Collectibles. Hope everyone is doing well today. Today we're going to do 3 up and 3 down, the top 3 risers and 3 fallers over the first week of baseball. Now players are starting to get a little bit of relevance, and we can see what happens when the rubber meets the road. And at the end of this, I want to talk just briefly about the Topps news that they're going public. I'm not sure that what I have to say is extremely revelatory. People are probably seeing this coming for a while, but if you want to learn a quick little something about IPOs and SPACs, then hang around and we'll give you a quick primer on that. But we will start off with our number 1 faller for the week, and that is Randy Arozarena. So last year he had a pretty big spike on the basis of the end of the season where he just went nuts. And I spoke about him a few times, made a couple of videos. And one of the things that stood out is he's a 60 grade prospect who can hit. All right, so the hitting is not going to be an issue. He should hit plenty. But the home runs were kind of a problem. 50% of the balls he put into the air left the yard. And we know that anything above 30 to 35% is due for some sort of regression. So 50%, you can see it come back hard. And what we're seeing from him so far is he's doing just fine. He's 4 hits in his first 11 at-bats, 364 average, but no home runs. And so maybe people are coming back down to the hype. So yeah, again, he's off 40% for the week over the last sale, $200 down to $119.99. Now that might have been a buy it now. Somebody jumped on it, but you can see that the Chrome card has fallen a bit here. So if we look over the last year, a lot of sideways action, coming down to an area where it's buy. I still think he's probably too expensive, but at 26 years old, if he has a big season, then I think then maybe he's proving a little something to me. And again, he's a 60 grade hit tool. Just the home runs aren't going to be there, and I think this factored in a lot of home runs. All right, we'll move to our number 3 riser for the week. And that is Mark McGwire of 69%. So this is always a hard card to get graded. A high grade, I would imagine, with the black border here. So and then you have the release of the Donruss this year, where they have a lot of the throwback 87. So maybe that rekindled some interest here. But he rose from about $100 up to $167 over the past couple of weeks. So you can call it $97 probably what they're measuring for the last week here. So if you go over the long term on Big Mac, maybe hit a couple more home runs. He's on quite a tear for a decade and a half there. So kind of at the bottom of the range. Now, one purchase from here to here is probably a little too much. That never really ends badly. It can keep going, but it settles back into this range. And I don't know what news comes out for him in the near future to get him out of this range here. What is that catalyst going to be? I don't know. Maybe there's going to be something. So, all right, we'll go to our number 2. But anyways, heck of a run over the last week here. So. Good for you, Big Mac. All right, our number 2 faller for the week is Aaron Judge. Bowman Chrome draft picks and prospects in a PSA 10. This doesn't look like it comes up terribly often, and over the last couple of weeks, this has been sold off pretty decently. He is down 41.5%. So why is that happening? The baseball season is starting. He's not off to a horrible start. He's hitting 300, just hit his first home run. And so maybe the news came out before he hit that. But if he stays healthy this year, I mean, this is a player with top 5 potential. There's no question about it. But he got up to his, when he gets up to this $400 range, $350, $400, he does tend to come back quickly into this $150, $200 range. And that's where he's at now. Now, buying is starting to pick up. Or I don't know if it's starting to pick up. Buying should perhaps start to pick up in this area where we've had a number of purchases in the past. If he stays healthy and he starts looking like he's at 30, 35, or honestly, he stays healthy, he's 40, 45 home run player. But even if he plays 120 games, that's just kind of what he's been able to do. Then this card could start to tick up again. But this is an interesting spot for Aaron Judge, our number 2 faller. All right, our number 2 riser for the week is Alex Bregman. Talked plenty about Alex Bregman, and maybe you're sick of that. No, don't be sick of it yet, because I got a little bit more coming here. But anyways, he's off to an incredible start for the season. Over the first week, he's hitting .471 with a couple of home runs. This is a player who has top 5 potential. He was off quite a bit last year. Looked sort of anomalous. He really, the first 2 seasons, he was a MVP candidate. I think top 5. He was second to Mike Trout in 2019 and in 2018. So he's really produced ever since he came up. And again, his track record would indicate a very high level player here. And his prices are reflecting that. They've really been going kind of gangbusters for a while here. So straight up, and then this big spike, which is probably too much if you're looking for this card. I don't know that I would pay $142. So But if he is able to slide back into this area here, that might be a reasonable spot. If you look at comparable top 5 players with their Chrome cards, They support prices a lot higher than that. I think he's got a little bit more to prove, but he is up 74% in the last week here with these sales. All right, we'll get to our number one faller, and that is Justin Verlander. And I don't know if it was my most recent mail day or if it was within the last couple of weeks, showed off a Justin Verlander card and how excited I was to finally get one. So you knew this was coming, right? He is off, looks like 46% in the last week. So from this sale down to here, 2006 Topps, and so this is not his. He's got his I think his more desirable rookie card is a little bit is different than this one here. At least I hope it is, because that's the one I got. But this is some sort of a variation, and you can see that over the last year, there's no news to really support his card prices right now. That will start to pick up again if he comes back later this year, next year, or if he calls it quits in about 5 years when he's starting to get Hall of Fame consideration. Then you'll start to see these prices maybe come back up again. But there wasn't a lot of buying to support these prices, and here it's back down to a level that probably makes some sense. And if it fell down just a little bit more, but rated here is a pretty decent area for this particular card. Again, he's got a 2005 or 6 that I think is more traditional rookie card that's probably going to get some more attention, but this is what we have here. So, all right, we'll get to our number one. It's actually 2 cards, same player. So 2 number ones, but I wanted to break it up just a little bit here. And that's Shohei Ohtani. And so over the past couple of weeks, he is up. This first one here is up 100%, and so you can see $80 to 147, so roughly right in here. It's actually come off quite a bit here. So when you see these big spikes, I've talked about this before, these low volume moves like that, those are for selling. You don't chase those, and so it comes back to a more natural level. So I think there's probably, so even though it's still up big, it was up even bigger, and it could probably still come back down into this level if you kind of follow the clusters here. I'm going to try to go fast enough to dodge this thing. So there we go. All right, I think I got it. All right. But yeah, if it come back down into this area, that would make sense. Now, over the first week of the season, he's got a couple of home runs, which people got really, really excited about. But it's just on a 188 average, striking out a ton. And he threw a game here, 4.2 innings. And again, that he can do both adequately is exciting to people, and this prompted some speculation and some buying here. But over 4.2 innings, 7 strikeouts, 5 walks. And so, we'll see what kind of player he is. He can do 2 things. Can he do either? Great. That's going to be the real question here. So I have number 1 as well. Also, Shohei Ohtani. His update, and this is kind of interesting, his rookie debut in a PSA 10. So it was kind of interesting that these are getting some love. And it's a cool picture. This is his card. I think his other cards have him pitching, and so this is one showing him hitting. And so that does have some desirability here. But again, too much too quick. And I would say that this spike is probably for selling, but it continues to go. So here's what I'll say is, as prices rise, they don't have to rise with you. They can certainly come back here. So this could come back at some point here, and I would honestly wait. It could continue to climb, but I think there's more people. They're going to run out of buyers at some point at these levels, and there's plenty of buyers in here to support prices in that $60 to $100 range. And again, with the way that he's going, if he hits 30 home runs, but he hits 220. That's not a player that's going to command a couple $100 or anything like that. So that is our number 1. That card is up 131% for the week. And Shohei Ohtani, again, very interesting player. A lot of interest around it, but again, for that long term, have at it. I am not going to be part of that. So, all right, news. So Topps decided that they are going to go public. All right, and you do this to raise money, basically. There's a couple of ways to go public. The first is an IPO. That's a very traditional way to do it, an initial public offering, where you go to the market and you offer shares. You go to investment banks, and they do a lot of marketing and a lot of work behind the scenes, and then they offer shares to the public for a certain price. They recommend the price and when to do it, and then when those shares go for sale, the shares go to the public, and the public gives money that goes to the company, and they can use that for expansion. All right, what Topps is doing, there's another way to do this. Again, there's a couple ways. These are 2 main ways, and this is really the way that a lot has been done over the past year, and it's a pretty efficient way, and I like it. And it's been around for decades. We used to call them blank check companies, but these are SPACs, or special purpose acquisition companies. And what they do, it's kind of the opposite. Think of an IPO as a company going to market to raise money, and then a SPAC would be money going to market to buy a company. So it's kind of the opposite. And what has happened here is as a couple of private equity firms. And this is where it gets interesting, have come together with a $1.3 billion offer to take Topps public, and so they'll own Topps. And so what's going to happen is these two private equity firms. I forget the name of it, Green Capital or something like that. But the other one, I think it's Toronto, is one of its partners is Michael Eisner, former CEO of Disney, also the CEO now of Topps. And so he has this private equity firm that he is going to transfer. He's going to use to buy out Topps basically, and it's a $1.3 billion deal. And you don't do this unless you're trying to cash out or you're raising money to start making acquisitions. Michael Eisner not looking to cash out. All right, so he just basically took Topps private. There's going to be a haircut for the private equity firms, but they're going to be sitting on a $1 billion war chest, and they're going to use this. Now, when you go public, one of the key advantages to this is you can start to do more mergers and acquisitions. You can acquire public companies, and you can do it a little bit more efficiently. So right now, he's been pretty clear that he wants to turn this into what Disney did in the 80s when they were buying movie. I think they bought Pixar at one point. That was more later 90s, and that might have been, I don't know if that was Iger, if that was Eisner, but he did expand a lot of the Disney worlds, ABC, ESPN. He went on a spree. And so he just built up his war chest for Topps to about $1 billion. Okay, he's already said they're interested in blockchain technology, NFTs, things of that nature. But within the next couple of years, basketball exclusive license comes up for bid. You're looking at football in 2025. Right now, Panini pays $30 million a year for exclusive rights to football. That's peanuts now. So I think it's probably no surprise, but Topps wants back in that game, is my belief. And with the NFTs between those two, they've got more capital. They may just straight out buy Upper Deck. I mean, just buy. That's a small company, it's independent, and they may just buy them out. Who knows? But when you get to the Panini Donruss thing, they may make a very compelling offer to get back into football and basketball the way those are going. Now, that landscape could change quite a bit over the next couple of years, but they're getting prepared right now. And so I think we see some interesting coming. I think you'll see a lot of acquisitions. You'll see a lot of new technology. And honestly, if they really started to jack up the prices, I mean, I think the initial thought is, oh my gosh, bigger print runs. Like, they don't need $1 billion to do that. But they're going to start buying some stuff here. Eisner is not he's not raising this level of capital to sit on it and retire. So he's an acquirer, and it'll be interesting to see how that goes. So I've taken up enough of your time. I certainly appreciate it, and have a great rest of the day. Bye now.